What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Do you know African Americans are very African in our culture? We are very, very, very African. And that's the shame about it, is that we have all these divisionist groups that try to say they're not African. And it's like, bruh, is 1 + 1 2? Did you learn that? Right? When you look at this person, you can clearly see that they're African. You look at the mirror, you see that you're African, right? When you look at your culture, right, you see African-American culture, but you don't even have a contrast at what that African-American culture comes from, right? And a lot of people say, oh, America's a mix between European culture and all these, they try to mix it up as if we done mixed up so much over here over this measly little 250, 300 years that we've been really here doing this, this measly. They think we done pureed ourselves into this new group. When in actuality, African Americans, for the most part, didn't mix that much with anybody unless we were forced by the European via their cultural practices, right? As far as Native Americans, we barely mix with the Native Americans. That's why I always find it funny how people who got 0.1% Native American in them, right, via whatever tribe, nation that, their ancestors hooked up with, right, they have 0.01%, and they ready to just be a whole daggone Native American, and they disregard their 70, 80% African, right, and they disregard that 11 to 20-something% European that they don't practice any of that. They not even jumping on that shit. They don't want no sausages. They don't want no goddamn Polish sausages. They don't want no fish and chips. They don't want none of that shit. All right, they bypass all that shit. They be like, I'm a Native American, I eat cornbread. That's it. That's as far as that's it. But they practice all that African culture, right? And where I'm from, Washington, D.C., the epicenter, the center of power and control, right? Where the American government for decades have been ran and operated administratively by African people who live in America that we call African Americans. This area that I live in, right, is where the smartest and most intelligent African Americans pool. If they're not going to New York, if they're not going to LA, if they're not going to Atlanta, they come here. This is the epicenter of true power, right, on the global scale for any black people. We have the most intelligent black people on the planet here, where I'm from. And they may be from somewhere else, but they end up coming here because it's all about them government contracts. That's where the money is. I'm telling you, government. If you can get the government to be your customer, you're in the money, and all the intelligent people know that, right? So, and you gotta remember, this is the epicenter of where the Civil War happened, where all the wars between us and other countries happened. This is the richest corridor in the world, from New York all the way down to Florida. Right, you will talk about this East Coast line, the Mid-Atlantic, where all these rich white European corporations have their headquarters, and all the ports where they can ship all their goods and products that they exploit. They exploit the people of America to produce and manufacture for them, so they can send it out and become more richer than they already are. Right, but in the midst of all that, the African Americans who reside here, right, most African Americans on the eastern portion of America, we're not even 100 miles away from our former slave plantations. The Great Migration, most of the people up in the DMV, DC, Virginia, Maryland, Baltimore area, Philadelphia, we're all migrants from the South, from South Carolina, North Carolina. If you talk to anybody from DC, Maryland, Virginia, all of them going to tell you their family is either from deep Virginia or North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, period. We're all from there. A lot of us got Geechee in us. A lot of us still practice some of the Geechee and the root work and all that. So we're still the same Africans, practicing our African spirituality and our traditions here in a modern way. And I'd say there's no more of an African print than African American music in Washington, D.C. If you didn't have DNA, which is DNA, I don't understand why anybody would say DNA is a scam. That's just an easy cop-out to say you don't want to get your DNA done because you're worried about real data, right, refuting or going against what you choose to believe about yourself. That's what that is, because DNA is an old scientific, is old. We just successfully transported antimatter from point A to point B? Did you know that? That's where we at now in science. Do you know we're creating small black holes? Huh? Do you know we can do that now? Small black holes, like actual black holes. Huh? Do you know we can do that? Do you know how far advanced we are as human beings, at least the intellectual side of humanity, right? A big-ass DNA molecule is nothing. All right, that's some old shit. All right, you're literally talking on a cell phone using invisible radio waves and frequencies to talk to each other magically, you know, anywhere on the world. And you talking about DNA don't work. No, you're trying to stay stupid. You got to work hard to remain ignorant in the age of information where real data is being thrown at you. You don't even have to learn. You just got to open your ears and let it go in. Right? But without further ado, I want you to pay attention to this is DC. This is what makes me. All right. This is what makes me. Right. And if you notice the personality, right, a lot of the people that's going to be in this video, it would seem very familiar. Right. This is the attitude we got. People from my era, we are very proud African Americans. We are the center of protest. All right. If anybody, right, any group of black people on this planet got a right to rename, all right, or have a foundation to rename all African Americans, it'd be somebody from this area. All right. Somebody who's in the political atmosphere arena, somebody who's in the governmental administration, knows how shit works on the inside, somebody who's in the shit, not somebody observing it from another state that ain't got nothing to do with it. Not something from a state that's receiving federal welfare from states and cities like myself that produce the money that finances their governments. All right. So people here, you know, even though we live in somewhat of a bubble because of the economic engine that runs this area, right? As far as education wise, we're the most woke people here, right? And we stay woke utilizing the spirit of black power. Usually no understanding when you say black, what that means. Understanding black means African. And when we put our fist up, this is an African fist, right? And it's black. The word black makes sure it unites all of us African descendant individuals into one powerful unit. And that's the goal. But first things first is that music. It's that music that motivates us to be a certain way, to act a certain way, to indulge in our own culture, to reinforce who we are as Africans. And nobody do it better than DC. Nobody. We got the most. I want every Nigerian and West African to listen to this. If you are West African and Nigerian, and you watch this, you're going to be able to pick apart every piece of this video and be like, yeah, that belonged to us, that belonged to them. That's ours. We did that first. He looked just like my auntie. Yeah, See, Africans, when they ask you where you from, right? If you look at this video, they going to know the answer. You ain't even got to say nothing. They'll tell you where you from just by the music thumbprint that we have created and maintained here, right? That's authentic and traditional. And it can't be carbon copied. It's authentic African-American music. That is clearly authentic African music. All right. So anyway, enjoy this video and tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.
For 50 years, Washington, D.C.'s black community has moved to the beat of its own drum, proudly embracing and preserving the unique sound and culture of go-go music, born in the nation's capital.
Go-Go is truly about the rhythm of D.C., the beat, the heartbeat of D.C., Chocolate City. It's like no other city. Go-Go saved a lot of lives, took care of a lot of households.
The music is all alive, so we are talking to the audience. The audience talks back to us, and everybody just vibes together.
The percussion-heavy genre blends funk, R&B, hip-hop, and Afro-Latin rhythms.
In the 1970s, there are a lot of these black diasporic music forms that are sort of emerging out of the civil rights movement, out of the freedom, independence movements in the Caribbean. They were really expressing the hope and the possibilities of black freedom.
It's something tribal about it, the way it makes you feel. It's electric. That's what I love most.
The man credited with starting it all, known as the godfather of go-go, is Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown dropped that pocket, that beat, the percussion with the drums. Boom, boom, it's like no other beat in the world.
He was competing with disco, and so he created go-go because it just kept people on the dance floor. The beat just goes and goes and goes and hasn't stopped going ever since.
I feel like busting loose. Give me the bridge, y'all. Give me the bridge now.
In 1979, his song Bustin' Loose peaked at #1 on Billboard's R&B chart and is sampled in Nelly's classic song Hot in Here.
'Cause I feel like bustin' loose and I feel like touching you.
It's a lot of music that you like that you might not know was influenced by GoGo or that actually has elements of it.
After Chuck, the first wave of go-go sound was shaped by bands like Rare Essence, Trouble Funk, and Sugar Bear, and Experience Unlimited. EU's song was created for Spike Lee's film School Days.
GoGo Museum, may I help you?
Here at the GoGo Museum in D.C.'s historic Anacostia district, Ronald Moten and his staff are committed to preserving and sharing D.C.'s music and culture with the world.
Look at this twice. Go boo, 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 boo.
Guitarist Andre Johnson is a founding member of one of the longest-running bands, Rare Essence.
We started when we were in elementary school, and we've just been able to entertain generations of people. We play 5 nights a week. They're there all 5 nights for years. I love it. I absolutely love GoGo. I just do.
Actor and musician Anwan Glover says people like Andre and Chuck mentored him.
They always gave me that chance.
And now he hopes to do the same for others.
I always go back to what Chuck Brown told me. Son, don't let our music die. Keep pushing the music and letting the youth know this is something that we have. This is our music, and we just got to keep it alive and keep going.
Have go-go music in a place where I felt sacred. You know, I feel like I'm close to God whenever I'm at the castle, but to be partying out to go-go music in that sacred space, I felt like God was pleased, and I feel like the ancestors rested, and they had a good time at the go-go.
You could definitely feel the energy. There was a spirit in the air. The people here, they felt the music, they vibed with the music, they danced, we dapped each other up, we became one. So for me, I think this is a trip of a lifetime.
Right here is the women's dungeon, and that door is the door of no return. And from what I understand, that was the door that they transported the slaves out of into slavery.
Our ancestors were supposed to work, and die. That was the goal, that was the plan. Rebreed, keep breeding them, keep them in captivity, erase their mind. We said, no, forget that. We came back and we're standing here right now with our heads held high and our chest puffed out because this could not destroy us. This couldn't stop us. So if this did not stop us, that means nothing will stop us.
It's a celebration, man. There's a no return right here. Right at the slave castle.
You get here and you walk through where your ancestors walked, and you hear the stories and you feel it. Like you feel it, and it touches you in a way that you could never like it just touches you in a way. So for me, this was overwhelmingly life-changing.
What does it mean for you to have the members of the band and yourself be celebrating your ancestry here on the continent?
It's beautiful. When I first got here, it was just like a breath of fresh air to come to Ghana. And like I said, Diallo, he just kept saying it for years that he was going to take the band to Africa. We was going to go to Africa. And it's just like, you think about it, then you just like, you hear. It's just, I don't know, it's dope.
In a word, it's dope. And I appreciate your openness and your willingness to share this information with not just your family, your backyard family, but with all of us. So congratulations. Thank you.
GoGo is love, GoGo is community. You know, GoGo is family. So being able to connect that family across the water, it meant a whole lot to me. I felt like it was really a part of my life mission. I'm happy that I got that done. And I really hope my ancestors are proud that we were able to bring a form of music that came out of us being in bondage in Washington, D.C. back to the motherland.
It was the sound of the city during my childhood. I mean, they even created a radio channel. I don't know if it was exclusively for GoGo, but it became that, where all they played was GoGo music on the radio. And I know everybody's, if you know anything about GoGo, you've heard about Chuck Brown, you've heard about EU, you've heard about Red Essence. Some people may have heard about Trouble Funk. Trouble Funk kind of progressed to a different style of music later on, but most people may have heard of those groups, but they didn't hear about groups like Red and the Boys. They didn't hear about groups like Northeast Groovers, Northwest Connection. See, Hot Cold Sweat. It was more about the live performances than it was about recordings, because it was really music for the city.
The first record that you heard from GoGo that made you say, "What is this?"
That one had a song called Back 'Em On Up. And that's one of my favorite songs that I recite when I play spades. When you set somebody, you got to back 'em on up.
I remember all the summers we would go to DC to visit Granddad, and then we would go to this one particular mall upstairs. The store was in the right corner, and all you heard was nonstop GoGo, and Uncle Gene would be in there for 4 hours
picking out GoGo songs
right, to bring back to Virginia.
Being in GoGo and you know, or being into GoGo and all of that, like the connection, I'm trying to make the connection, because GoGo, there was a very famous group called EU.
Yeah.
The song doing about
that's how the world got to know.
Exactly. And that's where I was getting at. Like, I didn't know anything about GoGo until that song came out. And I was still kind of young, but just hearing that, it was just so infectious. Like the music, I understand why people love it so much, even down to this day. Like, it's the energy. And it's one of the very few art forms that still utilize a whole band. Like, there's not like, you know, computers or auto-tune or anything like that goes on with it. It's a real talented trombone player.
Yeah.
It's a real talented drummer, congas, the whole nine. And now, Mike, did you ever play an instrument?
No, I tried to. When we were starting a band, I I had a Congo. I had one Congo. I had one Congo because I wanted to get in the band so bad. We had a go-go band. And so I would go boop, 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 boop. And then when the Congo didn't work out, I went to a thrift store and bought a trombone.
You went from a Congo to a trombone?
To a trombone.
Damn, that's a jump right there.
But I never knew how to play the trombone.
Hell no.
And, I was faking it, man. I was faking it.
Needless to say, I don't think you made the band, right?
No, I made the band.
Oh, you made the band?
No, yeah, because it was our band.
Have go-go music in a place where I felt sacred. You know, I feel like I'm close to God whenever I'm at the castle, but to be partying out to go-go music in that sacred space, I felt like God was pleased, and I feel like the ancestors rested, and they had a good time at the go-go.
You could definitely feel the energy. There was a spirit in the air. The people here, they felt the music, they vibed with the music, they danced, we dapped each other up, we became one. So for me, I think this is a trip of a lifetime.
Right here is the women's dungeon, and that door is the door of no return. And from
this is why most people hate go-go. First and foremost, you got the drums and percussion. It's cranking, giving you all that energy, and it's just be like forcing you to dance, even if you can't. Or maybe it's because the only place you can really see it live is in the DMV, DC, Maryland, or Virginia. Or it might be because they like the go-go version of their favorite song better than they like the original. I got it. It's probably because the musicians here are crazy talented, masters of improvisation, and always creating something new on the fly, keeping that party going. Nah, it must be because Chuck Brown created this sound that was all about bringing people together, spreading love and celebrating life, and it won't stop.
You don't do stuff like that.
Mr. Sunday, are you ready? I will continue with me and I will be. Mr. Sunday, are you ready? Oh, that's my way. Mr. Sunday, are you ready? But now you know. Akuma mo ìmúra sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́sísí. Àròjọ mú sọ́lọ́mù lọ́sọ̀ọ̀gbọ̀. Àròjọ mú sọ́lọ́mù lọ́sọ̀ọ̀gbọ̀. Ìyá sọ́mọ́ ni ìyá lórí o, ìyá sọ́mọ́ ni ìyá lórí o. Ìyá ìdíje, ìyá ìdísọ́mọ́ mi, ó dẹ́gbẹ́ gbọ́dọ̀. Báwo ni ìtọ́ náà níwájú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wo? Ẹ bá sọ pé. Bàbá jìnnà o, ẹkún mi ní sìgá o.
quiet down ní sí o. Owó ìdíjú tó fẹ́ bá tó gbé kí ní bọ̀ ń gbà ẹ̀ ní ìlú.
Iye kan mo lára fẹ́ fún mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan àbúrò lára. Mo kàkúlẹ̀tì wọ́n yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ni mo mọ iye tí mo ti kà àbúrò lára. Mo tàbí lọ́rọ̀.
Africa jíjẹ ìṣẹ́jọ ìbò ṣe. Ìjọba tó yí rárá. Ìyàwó ìbò. Ìyàwó ìbò. Ìyàwó ìbò. Africa jíjẹ ìbò wọn yàrá tó bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Hey, that shit make me want to That's some new shit. It's original. We ain't nobody. Oh my God. We respect TTB. We love you. It's all blue. Yeah. I know you bouncing in this. I know you bouncing to this. I know you bouncing to this. I know you bouncing to this.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.